Brothers and sisters, welcome to our update. Since our last report, there have been some exciting developments.
Today, we're on the JW.org website, and I just plugged in cults to help us answer the subject. So we go down and it says cults, what are they? The reason for a cult. Are Jehovah's Witnesses a cult? They talk about Jesus Christ was accused of being a drunkard and a glutton and a Sabbath. So I guess it's kind of the same thing. That's how they're justifying it. And then they go and attack Mother Mary. Is Mary the mother of God? They're attacking her, calling her a cult. So that article's about. We're just going to look at this one. Cults, what are they? We're going to see what they say. Okay, I found this interesting. Cults, what are they? And I went down here, and they even say themselves, suicide. Cults cause suicide. So how many Jehovah's Witnesses that have been shunned, young people especially, and I know some that have committed suicide? And I think this is the signs of a cult that uses shunning, uses forceful methods to control people, is a true sign of a cult. It's right in the article, right here, suicide of cult members. So we go right to the bottom. You always look at the top, it's always Satan, and then you go to the bottom and the governing body is the hero. That's how all the Watchtower articles are. I've been in it for 30 years. So right at the bottom, cult leaders are known to use manipulative methods. I'll just highlight this so you guys can see. It doesn't like the highlights. I won't highlight it. Cult leaders are known to use manipulative methods to control the minds of their followers. Is there any evidence that Jehovah's Witnesses do this? Is their worship cloaked in secrecy? Are they following and venerating a human leader? Pointedly, are Jehovah's Witnesses a cult? You see, they ask all those questions. The obvious answer is yes, 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 but they just ask the questions, right? So this is how they deal with things. But anytime you have 8 members, we're going to get into this a little further, what a cult is. And I'm jumping ahead of myself, but let's go right to Wikipedia. And anytime you have doomsday cults, this is what this is a doomsday cult. People also strive to find meaning in global events such as the turn of the millennium, when many predicted it prophetically marked the end of the age, and thus the end of the world. Well, guess what? Isn't that what this is all about? The 1984 Watchtower, I was in the organization. 1914, the generation that will not pass away. That's what they promised. That's what they promised. So it's all history. It's all here. And we even go back to Rutherford, if we really want to look at Russell, and he started predicting. He started it. But Rutherford was a big one. So we realize that this is a cult. What do? Well, it got worse. They used to have a faithful slave class, which was all the anointed ones. Typically like there's 20,000 or so today, but they could vote, or maybe even there was a select few that could elect in. But now the governing body, since I left, they've taken on the faithful slave class as only them and the 8 members. So no one can vote them in, vote them out. There's terms for this, and we're going to move forward. This is the governing body, neither inspired nor infallible. That's how they feel. These guys, they feel they're a direct link. And it's no wonder there's all of this stuff on the internet about them, even to the point of calling them the beast. So we go over here. I want to take a look at this image. Yes, the handwriting is on the wall for the governing body, because what they did was really wrong. They took and they forced themselves into a position where they forced all the other members out. So it's only them. So they become a cult. And with the shunning and with the child abuse and the 2-witness rule, all of these things show that it's a dangerous cult. And how do we know that we're in a cult? Well, we have to identify it to ourselves. And we have to show ourselves as based on man's teachings. You can look at all my stuff, but there's lots of stuff out there on the internet, and this is easy to find out. And so once you know you're in a cult, I think the hardest thing for me was to admit it to myself, that I'm in a cult. And then I spent 30 years in a cult, and then to tell my wife who I kept it kind of secret. Like, I didn't really know I was in a cult until I started researching it just, 6-8 months ago. And I didn't even know then until maybe a month or two ago that I was in a cult. And then I had a hard time admitting it to myself, and I was angry for a while. But finally, once I admitted it, once I verbalized it, and once I said it to my wife, once now we talk about it, it becomes okay. And I think that's the important thing. You have to admit it. And then once you admit it, I think it's important that you go to your government, whichever country you're in, and you file a complaint. Go to we have in Canada the Conscious and Religious Freedom Act, and we file a complaint about cults. Cults are illegal, and we got to tell the government why this cult's illegal and how it harmed us. I chose to go right to the RCMP, and I made a civilian complaint because it involved, in my opinion, indigenous hatred, and I feel that's dangerous. So I think it's important that we have to address these things. We got to seek accountability for the unlawful use of force, because that's what these guys are doing. And there's laws against that. And as a collective group, we all voice what happened, and the governments do the rest. I think where we're going with this, and this is why I see that the days are numbered. We have all these countries right here, all Jehovah's Witnesses all over the world, branch offices. It's a big organization, 8.5 million. And I think each country branch office will have to take their own control, take back their governing body. Like they did have a vote at one time, but no more. Take it all back, own it. All the assets in that country belong to the country. It belongs to the people who built it in the country. So it all stays in the country. Just like Russia, their first step to getting the people out of prison would be to shut down the religion from the branch and say, hey, the governing body, they took over an unlawful force. They used unlawful force, and so no one could vote them out. It's now a cult. So we identify this as a cult. We take over, each branch office takes over control, and then they start following Jesus. Jesus is the truth, the way, the life. It's really quite easy. Anyways, friends, that's my 2 bits for today on cults. And until next time, live your life with love. Bye for now.
We dearly love each one of you. From the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, this is JW Broadcasting.